Hi, guys. Welcome to Pre-Match Talk with the Rangers Rebel, the podcast. I have two great guests with us. Wilf, he's below me right there, for the ones that don't know, and Ross, a new guest. Welcome.
Hello, how are you
Thanks,
doing?
man. Good to
Welcome,
meet you.
guys. Welcome, guys. So, before we start, right, we have a couple of questions. We want to know about Rangers a little bit more. Wilf, we had you a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about Calvin Bassey. So it seems like the universe just put us together again. And now we have to talk about us beating you, right? This is now what's come down to.
That wasn't in the contract that we talked about you beating us. It should be a very interesting game on Wednesday. I think the way that football works, we were always going to draw yourselves once we put your old friends from Eindhoven out, because the way it works, Calvin Bassey was always going to come back and get a farewell from Ibrox, hopefully with a defeat. It's for me personally, it's fantastic because I've never seen Rangers play in Amsterdam, and I'm going to have the pleasure of being there on Wednesday. So I'm really looking forward to it.
That's going to be very awesome. Look, I'm going to be very honest here. After Saturday, and I have to touch upon that, I didn't think you guys wanted to do a talk anymore with us. So I'm very grateful. We are grateful that you guys still are here. Ross, a question. Let me just dive into it. When you guys had the draw, right, and you guys had Ajax, Napoli, Liverpool, what was your reaction, and what was the reaction of the fan base according to you?
I think with us coming from the fourth pot, we were always going to have big games to play. And I think the likes of Ajax and Liverpool being big football and great institutions, as Wilf says, a lot of history in your club and ours and Napoli and Liverpool as well. I think there's a lot of excitement. The Champions League for us this year, coming from pot four, is really what we would call a free hit. No one really expects us to do anything. People probably expect us to be the whipping boys of the group. But in European football, this Rangers team can't be underestimated. I know we never had a good result at the weekend, but in Europe, they just turn up time after time, as you've seen last year on the way to the Europa League final. So I wouldn't count us out, put it that way.
Yeah, I fully agree. You know, we touched upon this before as well. What Van Bronckhorst has been doing with Rangers, especially on the European stage, it's remarkable, right? You guys have been a little bit absent for a couple of years, but now you guys are really making strides. And when was the last time you guys were in the Champions League's group phase?
2010-11 season.
Yeah.
Our last Champions League group stage game was on the 6th of December 2010 against Bursaspor in Turkey.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, yeah. So I think you guys are very happy, right, with what's happening right now. And even though you guys coming from the pot four, you're still excited to be able to play these kind of matches.
100%, absolutely. I mean, everybody's probably aware of the sort of trials and tribulations Rangers have had in the last 10 years with a bit of a financial situation, and we got put down to the bottom league, and we've worked our way back up. And when we started working back through the leagues, somebody called it the journey. So this was on our journey back. And the last stage of the journey was to hear the Champions League music at Ibrox for a group stage game. Now that's going to be a week on Tuesday when we play Napoli, because that's the first time at Ibrox. But the first time we'll hear it in the group stages is going to be in your magnificent Amsterdam Arena on Wednesday night. And it's a night that we've all looked forward to since we had our problems in 2012. This is us finally back to where we believe we should be.
Yes. It's been a remarkable journey, to be honest. Pavimento, so just before you can take it away, just for our viewers as well. So this is a joint pod. We're doing this together. You guys can ask us questions as well about Ajax. Can I let Pavimento just ask you guys a question, and then you guys can go ahead?
Of course.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to know what differs at Rangers now compared to last year, except, of course, Bassey being gone. And do you guys feel like the quality is better than last year, or or less quality?
Do you want to take that, Wilf, or will I?
No, you can have it, Ross.
I'm going to be honest, at the moment, I think generally our squad looks better, but at the moment, a lot of players injured. So we had a guy, Tom Lawrence, who we got from Derby County, and he was really playing well for us. He's injured. He's now going to miss games until the international break. We signed a left-sided centre back in Ben Davies from Liverpool. He's injured, so at the moment we're currently playing with an inexperienced midfielder at centre back. And to be fair to James Sands, he's actually looked like our best defender this season, I would say, over the piece. So I don't know what that says for others. We've lost, obviously, Calvin Bassey, who was probably towards the end of our Europa League run. I would say he was possibly our best player. So we've lost Joe Aribo, who in European nights was exceptional, holding the ball up and bringing others into play, and he scored some great goals. We seem to have replaced him with Malik Tillman from Bayern Munich. I think he can do similar roles, but at the moment, I think the team that played in the Europa League final last year would possibly be better than the 11 that will start on Wednesday night, just due to the fact of injuries.
Yeah. Despite the successful run in Europa League, right? You guys didn't lose a lot of players. Am I correct?
No, we shipped out about 10 or 11 players, but a lot of them were just kind of peripheral squad players. As Ross says, the big players we lost were some guy called Calvin Bassey. I don't know what happened to him. I think he went to some small team in Holland, I think, if I remember right. And Joe Aribo, who went down to Southampton in the Premiership. Other than that, it was all kind of fringe players, just that weren't getting a game. But I mean, Bassey's been an enormous loss for us. I mean, we only got, as we said in the previous pod, we only really got 6 months out of him before you stole him off us. But yeah, we struggled to replace him. As Ross just said there, we brought in Ben Davies for Liverpool, but he got injured very quickly. So we've had to put James Sands back to centre half to fill that void, and he's a completely different player to Calvin Bassey.
So these players that are injured, those players played against PSV, I'm guessing?
No,
they didn't either.
Tom Lawrence did. Tom Lawrence played really well, and in order for him being injured, we've now moved 3 or 4 players into different positions to try and cover that one absence. Well, that's what we done against Celtic at the weekend. I think hopefully Giovanni Van Bronckhorst learned his lesson from what he tried at the weekend, and will revert back to a more our kind of usual formation, and playing Glenn Kamara especially usually sits as part of a 2 in midfield. At the weekend they tried to play him as a number 10 and behind the striker, and I've tried it numerous times and it really doesn't seem to work for us. He's not that kind of player. So hopefully we'll see him and John Lundstrom sitting together, and at least that gives the back four a bit of protection, I feel, and allows us to get control of the ball and start playing our own possession-based game, which I thought we lacked at the weekend.
Yeah, and will Rangers set up the same way as against PSV? I mean, on paper it says 4-3-3, but it looked very defensively against PSV. So, could you elaborate on that one?
Yeah, that's the way that we tend to set up away from home in Europe. We look to we look to sort of give up possession of the ball quite a lot. As Ross said, we normally get two sitting holding midfield players. So, you know, just to try and sort of block the opposition, in this case Ajax, from coming through. But we sort of stand off. You excuse me. You'll probably find that you have got quite a lot of the ball. We're quite happy to do that until you get to sort of the halfway line, and then we sort of close you down. So yeah, that tends to be the way we set up in Europe.
I would actually call it more of a kind of 4-2-3-1 than a 4-3-3. Especially without the ball. But when we go forward, we've got the 2 what we would usually call wingers in that three. They try and play it inwards and allow the left back and right back to push forward, which is where last season and the season before we had a lot of our success. Our wing back play and creating chances through them being up the park.
Yeah, that's why James Tavernier was who's our right back and captain. That's why he was the leading scorer in the Europa League last season, because of the way we play, because of him bombing up the park all the time.
Yeah, I couldn't believe his stats. You guys touched upon it last time. His assists and the goals last season. He looked like a striker, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, guys, I have also a couple questions, but I don't want to talk only. If you guys have questions for us as well, please go ahead. Otherwise, it will be just one-way street. Everything coming from us. So go ahead.
I suppose I would like to know, with you guys, when you were looking at pot 4, I take it Rangers. I take it we would have been one of the teams you were hoping to avoid. And how did you feel when you drew against us from that pot?
First of all, I thought about Bassi. I thought it would be. It felt like everything came together for this. So I was kind of happy. I did see the pool as a strong group, and that everybody has a chance. It's just going to be decided on the results, and I don't think even everybody has a chance. I think Napoli and Liverpool, of course, are the top teams in this group. I think level, but I think Ajax also has a chance to just become second or first. If we look at Liverpool, they're not in a good form. So yeah, I think I was happy with this group. It's not that I didn't like it, and also I knew that the energies with these games will be amazing. Going to Liverpool, going to Rangers, going to Napoli. I think the fans energetic. I think we're going to have amazing matches, and everybody plays a little bit, except for Rangers, but press more to the front, attacking football. I think that suits Ajax also a little bit.
For me, the thing is, I wanted actually the Rangers after I saw, of course, Liverpool coming out and then Napoli coming out. I was like, why not also Rangers? If you look at football heritage, if you look at the fan base, if you look also even at the style they have in terms of football, all these teams, even you guys, maybe you guys are a little bit more reserved compared to the other teams in terms of play, but you guys have two systems. I've read up about you guys a little bit. You guys can switch it up. You guys can, of course, sit back a little bit. But if you want, you guys can also be very attacking oriented in sense of being pressing a lot, pressing very aggressively, and trying to recover the ball and go from there. And you play much more direct football than, for instance, what we do. We play a little bit more possession based. I have to be honest, though, Schreuder is a little bit more direct than Ten Hag. But coming to your question, Ross, I think this is really a Champions League group. This is what it's all about for me. You see other groups, you have like two very strong opponents, and then you can like almost already know who's going to be one or two and these kind of things. This for me, it brings more excited, also for the fans in general.
So do you guys think that? I know Ajax came out of pot 1. Do you think that Ajax are the favourites for the group, or would Liverpool be the favourites to win the group, or would Napoli be favourites to win the group?
I think Liverpool would still be the favorite to win the group, even though the form is not there. The quality that they have in the starting 11 is just, far beyond what Ajax has, and I think Napoli or Rangers have. So, I think they're favorites, but it doesn't mean that they're going to end up first if they don't find their form. Everybody has a chance, for sure.
Yeah, Champions League games are Champions League games. So. But yeah, I agree. Liverpool is cut out favorite to be number 1. And then, look, for us, specifically for Ajax, we know we can be very good. And we always go into a game to win a game, no matter who we play against. However, from my perspective, we have to be a little bit realistic as well. We lost 11 players, I think. And we got 10 players this summer. And out of those 10, 5 of them were first-team starters, so half of those. And 2 of them were the first one to come off the bench. So that's 7 already. It's a lot of changes, and we have a new coach. We have a perfect score in the Eredivisie so far, so 15 points, 5 games. That's good. But you are seeing that, the chemistry has to be built up again, because this team has been like torn apart compared to last season.
Yeah,
So
we
how
have
big-
7
how
new
big a
starters. Yeah.
Sorry, how big a miss is Anthony going to be? Because you only lost him right at the very end of the transfer window. So, you say that the team's 5 out of 5 in the Eredivisie. I mean, that's fabulous. But how did you notice on the game on the game on Saturday? I noticed you won 4-0 at the weekend. But did you notice the Anthony shaped gap there, if there is such a thing?
Definitely. Look, Tadic used to play on the left wing in previous seasons. Now Bergwijn came to Ajax. He plays that position, and we're trying to fix the right wing position of Anthony with Tadic. So fans are not really happy about it, because it's not really working and it's not really gelling yet. And I mean, if you just look at the start of our season, Tadic has played number 9 role, he has played the number 10 role, and he has played the right wing position. So that's a lot of changes for just the little amount of games we've had so far. And that it's also influencing his stats. He's not giving as much assists, and he's not making as many goals as he was doing last season. So it's going to take him also a little time to anticipate to the new position. And it's not only Tadic, but the whole team is still trying to find their way. So we're not as invincible as we were before.
Good.
You want to add something to that one?
No, actually, you're right. I would say that our best game so far was the last game of Anthony when we played Groningen at home. We were just crushing them 6-1. When Anthony went on strike, we didn't play him, of course, before he went to Manchester United. You saw that what you're seeing right now is that we're not that fluent going up front. So we don't create as many chances as we usually do, but we are efficient. And that's also thanks to especially Bergwijn, who's been on fire, but also Brobbey. Brobbey has been good as well, our new striker. So, yeah, I agree. So I have a question for you guys. What would you say is your strength as a team, in European stages? And also, what do you think with the players you have right now, and you guys touch upon it a little bit with the injuries and these kind of things, what do you guys think the pitfall can be of this Rangers going into the Amsterdam Arena and playing Ajax? Ross, if you want to start with that one.
I think that in European football, as I said before, this team is in their element. I think at the moment, I've kind of mentioned on our podcast, Ryan Kent, Morelos, players who haven't really been doing it, Tavernier, haven't really been doing it in Scotland this year, haven't started off the season well. And in my opinion, Ryan Kent will be looking to put himself in the shop window, being out of contract at the end of the season. So I would expect a show from those type of players. Don't get me wrong, at the moment Morelos isn't fit. He's nowhere near, he's fit to get on the park, but he's nowhere near the physical condition he should be in, and he has been in when he's played games before and lit Europe up. And at the moment, our weakness is, to be honest, the full team look frail. I don't know if you would agree, Wilf. Every time a ball comes near the goal, we look as if we could concede. I don't think any of our 3 goalkeepers are particularly good enough to be at Rangers. Obviously, Alan McGregor's a club legend and always will be for his heroics. But he's getting near 41, and he wasn't great last season. We've gave him a year's extension, and John McLaughlin let in 4. I don't know if you've seen it the weekend, possibly quite badly at fault for 3, I would say. And the other is a youth who we sent out on loan 2 seasons ago to Livingston, and he couldn't hold down a position there. So I think we're really lacking in goalkeeper. I think Tavernier might be nursing an injury based on the way he's played recently. So I think we're there to be got at. If you guys are going to come and play attacking football against us, I think we're quite frail at the back at the moment. I don't know if you'd agree with that, Wilf.
Yeah, we certainly are. I mean, if you look at, the way we were on Saturday, we were really, really poor defensively. We don't seem to have any trust in each other. I mean, it's quite telling that our best defender in the last few weeks has been James Sands, American international James Sands, who's actually a holding midfield player. We've brought him back into centre back because the guy, as we say, the guy we bought to replace Calvin Bassey is now injured. So James Sands has got that position, and he's not a centre half, but he's been our best defender so far this season. On the plus side, our left back Borna Barisic, who is very much a confidence player, seems to be coming on to a bit of a game. He was our best player by a long way on Saturday against Celtic. It's not really saying much because none of them are particularly good, but he seems to be coming on to a game, so we could get a bit of joy attacking down our left with him. But if Ajax are in the mind to attack Rangers, I think they might get some joy, unfortunately.
Sorry, can I ask one more question?
Yeah, go.
Can you guys tell me a little bit more about your striker? His name is a little difficult. Kolak?
Colak.
Yes. Can you tell me a little bit about him?
Go for it, Wilf.
He's a typical old-fashioned, what we in the United Kingdom we call a number 9, a striker that he basically scores between the posts. I know that sounds a bit daft, but he's
more of a finisher than a target man.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Alfredo Morelos will go outside the box looking for the ball. He'll go try and hunt the ball down. Colak does a little bit of that, but he's more of just a centre forward. The ball gets to him and he scores it. The ball drops in the box, and he'll hit the target with it, and it's up to the goalkeeper whether it goes in or not. He plays between the posts, and so far so good for us. We only signed him in the summer, but he's certainly been scoring goals for us. So yeah, he's more a striker. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think he looks like a very natural finisher.
Yeah.
Like if you give him 4 chances, he'll score 3. That kind of. It was quite unlucky at the weekend, but some of the goals he scored already have been ridiculous. Some of his finishing, as Will says, he looks like somebody who's always going to hit the target. I think the biggest problem we've got at the moment is not having the 3 players behind him on a consistent basis to build up a partnership. As I say, Malik Tillman has looked brilliant when played in the 10, sitting behind him. But with Tom Lawrence being injured, Tillman's been moved out to the right of the 3 in behind him, and it doesn't seem to be as effective in that position. But if Colak is given the proper service, I'm confident he'll score 30 goals for Rangers this season, 25-30 goals in the SPFL. But how, as I said earlier on, Morelos has done it for us on the big European stage and scored a lot of goals in Dortmund and Porto and places like that. Colak, this will be his first time when it really, really matters after PSV. He scored in PSV, but I think that he's going to be a top goal scorer for us, a really good finisher. But as Will says, there's a tweak to be made in our play because he's different to Morelos, and we've been set up for the last 3-4 seasons to get the ball to Morelos and watch him do his magic.
So it's not coming out yet fully.
What was that?
Morelos.
Yeah, it's not fully coming out yet with.
No, he's as Ross said earlier. He got half an hour on Saturday against Celtic. He's fit enough now to play football, but he's not got 90 minutes in him. There's no way he would last a full game. So okay. I can't see any way that he would start against you on Wednesday night because he's just short. He's short of match practice. He really is short of match fitness.
Guys, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Defense? Yeah, I mean, the game on Wednesday. Let's get to it. What do you fancy your chances are? Do you expect a win for Rangers? What is your score prediction? I want to know.
Before you guys answer that, can I just ask another question that's related to that?
Sure.
Because we touched upon it a little bit coming from Saturday, and we touched upon how you guys can play. Do you expect a reaction from Rangers in the sense that they will go into aggressive mode, try to press us, or do you think they will sit back, be a bit more cautious, and hold the spaces, like closed a little bit? What do you guys think about that? How does Gio react on these kind of things?
I think he'll just do what he does, as we said earlier, the way that he plays in Europe. He'll just sit back, be a bit more cautious, and then hope that we're clinical when we get the ball to Cholak up front. Because I think because of our frailties at the back, if we take the game to Ajax, we'll leave ourselves exposed at the back, and you'll basically have fun. You'll score goals for fun. I think. I don't know what Ross thinks about that, but that's the way I see it.
Yeah, I think we'll play with two sitting midfielders and look to Ryan Kent, and I would imagine Scott Wright or Rabbi Matondo will play on the right-hand side, and it'll look to be soak up the pressure and invite you on us and then try and turn you over. Goldson, the centre half, his range of passing has at times been incredible and at other times is terrible. So if he has one of his nights, he loves the long ball over the top towards Ryan Kent, and we've had quite a lot of joy with that. So I think I've went for, to answer your other question, I've went for my head says that Ajax will win the game, but my heart's went for a 1-1 draw.
Okay, all right. Wilf, what do you think?
I never ever predict Rangers to lose a goal, although I do expect Ajax to score. So I've actually gone for 2-0 to Rangers because that's just
2-1?
2-0, 2-0
for Rangers.
Although I think Ajax will score, I never ever predict a goal against Rangers. So
that's fair. That's fair. What do you think, Puppy? What do you think?
I think it will be 3-1 for Ajax. I fancy our chances just because I was watching today again the highlights of PSV Rangers and also the away game for PSV. So at home for you guys. Yeah. And I mean, I saw that PSV was getting a lot of chances, even though they were very defensively set up. I thought they had still many chances to score and they didn't. And if you also look, I mean, at the way PSV is playing, it's very defensive, and still they had chances. I think we will be pressing them more on their side, around their box, and that's why I feel confident we can score more. So that's why the 3-1. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. No disrespect, though.
I know it's
okay, we're stopping this now.
Why you would say that?
No, I was thinking honestly the same. But I was thinking 3-0 or 3-1. I'm not sure if we can hold the 0, to be honest, or a clean sheet. But it will be along those lines. I think, honestly, also because I watched the PSV game, especially the second game, so in Eindhoven, and I thought at a certain moment you guys took over from PSV in the second half. You guys became much more, I don't know if the word is adventurous, but you guys just started playing better football than PSV.
Yeah,
the Dutch pundits
on the ball.
Yeah, and the Dutch pundits, they said here that PSV was nervous. They were like they didn't know what to do exactly, whether they should sit back and go on the counter or whether they should go still attacking with the score, what it was at that time. And I thought you guys were playing pretty well football. However, I thought you guys were not very clinical up front. You guys could have scored already more goals. Now, the difference is, I wouldn't say that PSV is much more defensive than Ajax, so I disagree a little bit with Papimento, but I would say that for us, it doesn't matter what the scoreline is, we will always want to be dominant. So we will not try to give you guys the chance to play football, I would assume, especially on our turf. So that's why I think we will bring the best in us and try to beat you guys. And I expect also that we will start pretty aggressive on you guys. The only thing is, I'm very, very honest here right now. I think our wing backs, our full backs at the moment, these are new. Not entirely new. Blind used to play it last year, but the right side, we don't have Mazraoui anymore. We have Wrench, who had a terrible preseason, to be honest, but he's been picking up form again, and he's a youngster from the academy. I think if you guys have a chance against us, it will be exposing us on the wings. Blind is not the fastest player anymore. I think if Tavernier goes there and really comes up a couple of times, we might have problems there. So that's why I'm thinking maybe we will concede a goal.
Yeah, I want to add to that don't get disheartened, boys, because we played against Cambuur the last game. The first half, even they had chances against us. When we go into attack, it sometimes gets open in the back. So there's definitely chances on the counter-attack for you guys to do some pain to Ajax. And we have to be confident for our club, right?
But
Yeah.
the concern for me.
Just be sure to keep this between us. So don't share this information with Gio.
I mean, the concern for me when you say that he's a bit open at the back is that we don't score a lot of goals other than from our centre attacker. So other than from Cholak, we don't really have midfield players that score goals. The only one that has been doing is Tom Lawrence, who's injured. It was Tom Lawrence that nearly took the bar away in Eindhoven when he rattled one off the bar. He won't be playing. He's injured, and he was our best outlet for a goal on the counter attack. So we don't really like shooting from distance. So that might benefit you.
Yeah.
I'm basically hoping your coaching staff are going to see this and say, well, we'll just leave it exposed at the back because Rangers have got nothing coming forward. And
That's not going to happen.
I hope they don't. I have one more question, which is also something that can be a weakness. We haven't been really tested on that yet, and that's the set pieces. How are you guys on set pieces, attacking and defensively?
Terrible.
Not great.
This
Not
season, Van Bronckhorst seems to have approached corners and free kicks with a zonal marking. Last year we went man for man, and for the first 6 months of last season, I would say, Wilf, we never had anyone on the goalposts, and it cost us a few goals, and we seem to have ironed that out when Gio came in. But at the moment, he's went zonal, and what I would say is we're not a big physical team. Aribo was possibly 6'3" or something. You've got Bassi, who is, as you guys know, massive. We seem to have lost a lot of our physicality, and to be honest with you, every time a team gets a corner against us, the amount of free headers we give away are shocking. I think that's something that you guys will, if you have work on set piece and if you are good at attacking from set pieces, you'll definitely get chances against this Rangers side, as much as it pains me to say it.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite strange because when Van Bronckhorst came in, we had been, before Gerrard left, when Van Bronckhorst came in, we were basically giving every team a goal of a start in a game. We were going a goal down in every single game. And then Van Bronckhorst came in, and his mantra was keep the zero. And we went something like 7 or 8 games in a row, keeping a clean sheet, which was fantastic. And as Ross said, that was man for man marking. He's completely changed that now. And to use an old Glasgow expression, we can't keep Wayne's out of a close now. We just keep losing goals. So again, as Ross says, if Ajax have been working on their set plays and they've got somebody that can attack the ball as it comes into the box, you'll probably have a lot of joy. And our own corners delivery's not been great, but Tavernier's delivery hasn't been great from the corners from his side. Barisic is getting better, but we don't seem to have anybody to attack the ball. I mean, Connor Goldson, for the size of him, our main centre back, he should score an awful lot more goals from set plays and attacking, but he just doesn't. I mean, he jumped for a ball on Saturday and it hit him in the back of the neck on the way. I mean, it's just, I don't know what it is about him. So we're not particularly clever at set pieces either, defending them or scoring off them. So
You're
We've
still
also-
sticking with 2-0, Will?
got to back my team, man. Got to back my team.
I
Actually,
think there's I think there's a conversation as well to be had after our goalkeeping performance at the weekend, whether Alan McGregor might get recalled for the big game. We said on our podcast there we wouldn't play him. Personally, I don't think any of the three of them are good enough, but I think he'll go with John McLaughlin. But there is an outside chance that Alan McGregor retains the goalkeeping position for this game, and if that's the case, it's just in swinging corners all game, right on top of him. He will not leave his line when it comes to set plays, and that's really became a weakness, I'd say, over the last kind of 12 to 18 months. It's always been a weakness of his, but it's definitely regressed a bit over the last kind of year and a half, I would say.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I just end with my question? Yeah, I just want to ask, like, what is the goal for Rangers every season? Like, now you guys are in the Champions League. I mean, if you guys would go out in the 4th position, would you still be happy with the achievement of Rangers, or is it like they have to go for a 3rd place for the Europa League, or they have to go through the group phase? What is the goal here?
The majority of what I've seen on social media and the Rangers fans that I've spoke to, even before the draw, it was whoever we get, we have to aim for 3rd place in the group, because we're coming out of pot 4. You know, it's going to follow that we're getting 2 decent teams, somebody from pot 3 who turns out they are quite decent in Napoli, and ourselves. So for me, the minimum goal is 3rd place. And because of what we did in the Europa League last year, there's a lot of people thinking if we can get it back into the Europa League, then we can go on a run towards the back end of the season. So from where we're sitting right now, the goal has to be still be in Europe after Christmas. If it's in the Champions League, if we've somehow managed to win the group or get 2nd, that's absolutely magnificent. That's wonderful. But the least we should be looking at is getting 3rd place.
For me,
So
I think
so you would settle for Ajax 1 and Rangers 2? That would be good enough for you?
that
I would
would be
settle for
excellent.
that,
Yeah,
Right now,
I'll take that just now if you're off on that.
Yes, please.
I think.
That's right.
Sorry,
I
Ross.
think,
Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
think as we said after last year, right now our squad's possibly a little bit better, but our available players for the forthcoming games, I'd say probably you're talking about Hollander and Roof and players like that being out. You'll not see them again before late October probably. Then you've obviously got Yanis Hadji, who's a great young player, who's going to be out till after the World Cup. I think for us, although we've made it to the Champions League, we're a team who could excel in the Europa League if we get there. And I think that Wilf's knocked it on the head. If we can get 3rd place in this group, especially given the group we're in with 3 really strong teams around about us, I think that our squad's suited to going to the Europa League and playing knockout football. I don't see us finishing 1st or 2nd. I think we'll be in a dogfight with Napoli for 3rd in the group. I believe that, similar to you guys, Liverpool are the out and out favourites, and then I would imagine you guys would come 2nd in the group. And I know some people might see that as being defeatist, but it's just realistic to me. The budgets in the Champions League are so much more. And I know we put out Dortmund last year, who have obviously got a massive budget, but I think that could have been a bit different if a certain guy who's now at Man City had been playing. I think that would have went differently. So, listen, if we can get 3rd in the group, that will be a really successful European run, and then it comes down to retaining our title in Scotland, getting that title back and getting the automatic entry into the Champions League at the end of this season, going into next season, and then being able to use that money to then start to build our squad up. It took us a few years to get that Europa League squad built up to get on the run we went on, and I don't think we're ready for a prolonged Champions League run, but win the league this year on our bread and butter, get that money back in, get another cash boost, and then maybe look, we'll be looking to progress for the groups this time next year, having increased the squad size and got in a better quality of player again.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think we're naive enough to think that, you know, it's a first year in the Champions League in 12 seasons. You know, and I mean, there's been some teams that have come new into the Champions League, which we effectively are, and taking some awful beatings, you know, and just ended up bottom of the group with no points. We don't want that to happen. We're not naive enough to think, well, we're going to come into this first time back in a long time out of pot four, and we're going to stroll it. We're going to finish first or second. That's not realistic. It can happen. I mean, what we have to be looking to do.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, what we have to be looking to do is win our home games, as we always say in Europe, win our home games and try and sneak something away. So I mean, I'm saying 2-0 to Rangers on Wednesday because that's my heart, not my head. I would snap your hand off for a draw right now. Give me a draw right now. I won't even go on that plane tomorrow. I'll just say thanks very much. We'll just take that and we'll go home. Fantastic.
So you would skip Amsterdam for the draw?
Sorry?
You would skip going to Amsterdam for the draw?
If you guarantee me the draw now, I'll just stay home. Yeah.
All right.
I'll take your hotel and flights, Wilf, if you don't mind.
Final question before we end the part. Go ahead.
No, I didn't have a question. I just wanted to just get the facts straight. So let's say Rangers was fully fit, no injuries. Would you have been more positive in the sense of getting third place and then second place would be the goal, or am I understanding it wrong?
I think that this year third place is the goal. Third place is the goal. I would feel a lot better about us getting it if we had our full squad to choose from. So in the summer we've brought in 7 bodies, 2 of which are centre backs, both of which would play on the left side, and one of which plays on the left, one on the right. Both are injured at the moment, so we're really light in that centre back position. Tavernier, as I say, is struggling with injury, it looks like, and we don't have anybody else that can come in there. Plus, the goalkeeper position has regressed. I think if we can scrape third, it would be a massive achievement for us to get back into Europa and go another run there. With a full squad, if we had a full squad all fit and firing right now, I would be confident that we could finish third. Yeah. I would be confident that we could go into, as Wilf says, could go into any game and fancy our chances at Ibrox. But at the moment, we're down to the bare bones. As I say, Roof's injured. Morelos is probably 3 or 4 weeks away from being full match fit. So we're literally relying. We're going to run Cholak into the ground over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Wednesday, Saturday. So the squad, if we can get European football after Christmas and get some of those players back and get a transfer window, and maybe build on having European football after Christmas, I think we could do well in the Europa again. By that, I don't mean expect to get to the final again, but definitely have a sustained run where it's bringing in cash to the club, which is, at the end of the day, that's how the better players come in if we can go a good European run again.
I think the thing that goes for us at Ibrox as well is us as a support. I mean, I'm looking forward to the atmosphere in the Amsterdam Arena on Wednesday, because I've never experienced it. I've been in the stadium, I've done the tour a couple of times, I've never seen a game in it, and I'm really looking forward to that. But Ibrox on a European night under the lights is just something special. I mean, you guys will find it out in December when we're fighting out for top spot in the last game. But awesome. You know, you look at, I mean, even when Dortmund came, Jude Bellingham came out and just went, wow. You know, because I mean, Ibrox is something special. Just the noise that it generates, and it can be like a goal start to us. But we're not kidding ourselves on. Ajax will be used to atmospheres like that. Liverpool are certainly used to atmospheres like that, and Naples will be like that anyway. So it might not help us as much as it helped us in some of the Europa games, but it's certainly going to help us. That's why we've got to look to take points from every home game, and anything we get away from home is a bonus. And hopefully that's enough to get us at least third place.